Alrighty, let's tell you about this piece of deliciousness now. Tumisho Masha and Duduzile star in Agnes Wilson's Fences, which is currently running at the Joburg Theatre. In fact, today is the last day of the preview and tomorrow going full throttle. The play examines complicated family dynamics combined with problematic racial relations, capitalism and generational trauma in the African American community during the early 1960s. We are joined by Tumisho Masha and Duduzile in studio to discuss this and more. Gentlemen, thank you so much for availing yourselves.
Thanks for having us.
Because we also know that today is the last day of the preview, but you were also like, it was like the cat that was thrown among the pigeons when you literally had to take it and run, right? So, maybe let's start with you, Tumisho. Tell our viewers what happened.
Well, I want to say, first of all, after the intro that you gave, it's also a very entertaining play. It's not only heavy issues, right? Basically, Dr. John Gani was going to be playing the lead role, and in fact, he was the reason why I joined this cast. You know, we all wanted to work with the legend of South African theatre and indeed world theatre. And unfortunately, he couldn't continue due to a temporary illness that would have probably held us back a little bit in terms of when we wanted to open the play. And he stepped down, and I was asked to take over, basically last week Monday, and Lunga was asked to take over 2 days later, playing Jim Bonner, the part that I was originally cast in. So we've had quite a bit of a roller coaster ride, but we've had a great one. I mean, we met and instantly there was chemistry between us. And I think we worked very hard to make sure that we can put something together that people will really enjoy.
Lunga, where did you have to go to show up for that, right? And especially, I don't know how it works, like maybe you have to now learn your lines or familiarize yourself, you know, with a character that wasn't originally yours.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the play. I've, you know, read it and studied it before. But yeah, as you're saying, we were thrown in the deep end. And I just had to step in and, you know, without thinking, go, you know, this is a great opportunity and it's a great cast, so might as well just do it. And thankfully, I've got a great cast that's very supportive. Tumisho has become a brother. I'd never met him before, but he's been so supportive, you know, and that sort of helps in fueling the dynamics between us on stage. So yeah, we're still finding it though. We're still finding it. You know, with theatre, you can never say that you fully grasp it. So with every moment we're discovering things, and it's been quite a ride.
Tumisho, how did this stretch you in ways that you'd never imagined?
It's been an absolutely humbling experience. You know, it totally stretched me. I was so anxious. There have been tearful moments where I've been like, is this how I'm going to end my career, basically? You know, get there and just fizzle out, die, and never be seen again. So I'm just grateful for all the support that I've gotten from my fellow cast members, my family, and I'm grateful that, you know, God has been on our side to make sure that we could pull this off, because without a higher power, we couldn't have made it happen.
Man, what is it that they say about gold being refined and going through the heat and then crystallizing and being like, ding!
And also the show must go on. That's the nature of the business, right? The show must go on. And I think it adds an excitement to it, because every time we're out there, we're literally just, we're not relying on ourselves, I don't think. I think we're relying on that higher power, that sense of just leaning on each other to make this happen. And I think it shows in the way that we perform and what the people can come and really enjoy. There's a real friendship that we have developed that comes across on stage. And as you said, the piece deals with so many issues around family especially. And we just like people to come and check it out and walk away, maybe hopefully having some sort of healing for themselves and what they've been through in their lives and their family trauma.
Then you know, and you know, let's not forget about the words themselves. The playwright it's such a great piece of theatre that I guess we have no choice but to delve into it. It's written so very well, and the themes are so universal in nature. That and you know, we're doing the whole thing, we're doing the whole bout, the accents and all of that, but there's something about August Wilson that captures the black lived experience universally.
Yeah.
So that's also been interesting to engage with.
And I wanted to get into that more in terms of the themes that you touch on. You speak of healing and you speak of the universal black lived experience. I mean, what is it in the play that perhaps resonated with you so much that you can even link it with what South Africa or South Africans have been through?
Right. I mean, you know, it's all there. It's apartheid. It's growing up in the township. I mean, the play is set in Pittsburgh. But it's so interesting. We sit on that set on the porch, just engaging and doing that back and forth. And already you see your uncle, you see your grandfather, you see, and all these things. It's just they're speaking in a different accent. So that was captured very well. I don't know if you.
Yeah, and I think the problem of family trauma, you know, so we call it generational curses, and breaking those things, breaking situations where our fathers might have caused us trauma, and getting to a point where we can see that for ourselves and not pass it on to our children. And it's important for us to unpack that, because we're dealing with that in South Africa. We're dealing with GBV, we're dealing with so many other issues. But I want to say and stress once again that even though the story does unpack those issues, I think it's done in a way that people can just enjoy it, number one. And that's how you get to walk away and actually talk about it and heal from whatever you might be going through.
You also the undeniable Ms. Kucha Green's husband in the play. I mean, also that dynamic, because you having to enter the play, like you said, you know, and just get straight into it. How has that experience been, and what can we expect from the energy from you two?
Oh, man, I can say that we've both been very fortunate to have been given this opportunity and have this amazing chemistry between us, that it just works. I think it's just absolutely believable. And she's a consummate professional. I mean, you know, to also be thrown into the deep end as well, to say, hey, here's someone else that you got to work with now that was in this particular guise, and now they're coming in this other guise as someone who's playing your husband that you've been married to for 18 years. And she took it and ran with it, and she really helped the both of us so much, myself especially, because we have so many scenes together. And without her support and other cast members, I'm going to mention Atandwa, Sibusiso, as well as Flomla, you know, we wouldn't have been able to get here.
I think Tumisho mentioned from the start that there's other parts to the play that are also quite delicious but are not as intense. Maybe do share, just without giving too much away.
I mean, what's really beautiful is Wilson's ability to write friendship, you know? For me, what's one of the most endearing things about the play is being in the space with him, and the friendship between Jim Bono and Troy. It's just really beautiful to see these grown men of that time having such a deep love for each other, and we see that throughout the play.
Black male friendship.
Exactly.
Sometimes we don't see.
Exactly.
Family dynamics, strong family. What makes a strong family? When you see a mother, a father, a friend of the family, the kids all come together and hang out in the way that they do. You know, after work on a Friday afternoon. And tell each other stories. I think it also goes back to African literature and mythology, and how we used to sit around the fire and tell each other stories and entertain ourselves that way. And I think you're going to see that. I think, you know, growing up Kokasi or growing up in the rurals, you'll go, I see that.
I see that.
That's how my uncles used to be, and with the aunts, or that's how my grandmother and grandfather used to relate and hang out.
It sounds so cathartic. I mean, what is it about theatre? What is it about that bug that bites you, right? It's so different to sitting in a cinema and watching a screen.
I think it's that visceral, very real feeling. I mean, you're not just experiencing someone through a screen, you're experiencing them live. You can smell the smells. You can see the people right in front of you, you know, in a way that theatre just can't, I mean, rather cinema just can't translate. And when you experience that, even for us on the stage, it's just another level. The joy of being able to interact with a live audience. I mean, there are parts that we're finding where we go, we usually just speed through that, and then we have to stop now and allow the audience to have their interaction and their experience of that moment, and then continue.
And the thing is, you never know how people are going to react. We go into the space and we do it, and then you're like, okay, that's interesting how they reacted to that moment. So there's the beautiful thing about being present with the audience and sort of feeling that energy, you know. And it's nice to be on the stage and have people vouching for you, because I don't think people go to the theater to go, I want to see that thing fail. So that's been the most beautiful thing about this play and these 2 performances that we've had, because you just feel it in the space that, you know, people want this thing to work. We are telling the story.
The audience has been very generous.
Oh, yeah, very.
People of Joburg are generally very generous when they come and see a show. They come there to not only just be a part of the audience, but be a member of the cast, if you will.
Yeah, part of
what they add, part of the experience.
Definitely. Which is what is so unique about
last night.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Don't believe it.
You do shows in other parts of the world and it's just silent. And here you hear someone right there going, well, now you know.
Gotcha. What I'm taking away is the deliberateness in the ecosystem, not just as a person buying the ticket, but even the lighting person, the stage design, the person who chooses the clothes for you. I think maybe in just closing, you know, there's so many young people also who are watching you guys, right, who are maybe studying dramatic arts, who would want to come into this space. Your word for a young person that is looking at you and going to the theater and thinking, oh, yes.
Yeah. I think what I'd say is it's possible. Go out there, believe in yourself, work hard, and study. Don't expect to just come into this industry without the proper training. There are lots of amazing people out there who are waiting for you with open arms. I must say, I just want to give a big shout out to both our directors, Ricardo Khan and Rorisang Motuba, who have been exceptional in guiding this play and getting it to where it is. And those are the kind of people that when young people come into the space of the industry, will be welcoming them. But the expectation is, come there prepared. You're a diamond, but you need to be polished.
Amen.
Absolutely. And you know, just to wrap up, I think everyone has a story to tell. You know, it's not impossible. It is magical, but it's not magical. So that's my word to young people. If you feel that you want to have a story to tell, go out there and learn how to tell stories, because it's basically just it. We tell human stories, and that's what it's about.
Tumisho Masha. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All of February is dedicated to you, so every day you've got an opportunity to
and you better come watch the show. You better come.
Well, I'm definitely there. Definitely there. But thank you. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, so I look forward to it. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate your time.